Okay, hello. Welcome to the final session of the J Champions Conf 2025. I'm happy to introduce Sven, who's a name I'm going to butcher. So Sven, can you just say your full name?
Yeah, so that's Sven Reimers.
Okay, all right. Great. All right. Well, thanks you so much for doing this. I've been looking forward to this session personally. So I'll let you take it away.
All right. Thanks, Gideon. So let's start with a small bit of presentation, and then I'll promise I don't keep you too long with not interesting slides, but get as fast to the demo as I can. So what I will be talking today is about a better Jupyter experience for Java developers. JTaccuino unveiled. The official first appearance of Jtaquino was at Devoxx last year, and this is like a follow-up to the conference talk we gave there. And I did this together with my partner Jose Pereira, who helped me with lots of things. So he's still on the slides. So thanks to Jose in the beginning and probably in the end as well. So let's have a look. So why another notebook, you might think? So having long discussions with fellow Java champions and other Java people, we were all looking for a tool to do Java stuff, and yeah, and should be Java centric. So it's not like Java is an afterthought, but Java in the beginning. So like using the same paradigm Jupyter is doing with the notebook stuff, but baking Java into it right from the start. So Java first, Java always. And we thought about using it for focusing and learning Java. So learning new semantics, new constructs put into the language, or new APIs, just to try them out in a very interactive way. And yeah, especially focused at using Java for everything. So not trying to work around things, but just being Java. And the interactive thing is, how do you try things out like records or whatever? And what I did when I looked into new technologies, I was starting to use JShell a lot. But the experience of JShell is, well, from a user experience, it's a bit complex. It's all very sequential. So it's missing this interactive back and forth thing. You can do it, but it's very tedious. And it's missing a nice UI on top of it. And if you're doing data-centric things, you want nice displays. So there were more things to come. So yeah, and I'm looking at those people doing data science things or algorithms for data science, wrangling with data and plotting things or filtering things and transforming things. Yeah, it could be very nice if you can just do everything in line in a very interactive way. So that was the thing was triggering us. So how does it work in the end? So we did a rich client application. So you just download a bundle, install it on your local machine, and you're ready to go. So no servers involved. You don't need any internet connection after you've downloaded it. Besides, you want to use things like Maven, but everything else is local. The front end is written in JavaFX, so state-of-the-art Java UI, and it allows you to display things and interact with things. You'll see later on in the demo. Execution and backend so the execution of the script bits and pieces you put into the notebook are based on JShell. So JShell is not only the JShell you can see and use if you're calling JShell in your command line, but you can also have a JShell tooling on the back end that allows you to do all the nice things, and you just need to put something on top of it to interact with it. So very nice design, and it's really, really good. And next major thing was you need to have some code editing features. So like a rich text editor in JavaFX. I was looking around, there's no such thing in OpenJFX at the moment. There were some bigger approaches going on, and I finally stumbled onto this rich text area from Gluon HQ, and yeah, my fellow friends from the Java Champions helped me to get started with it. And yeah, actually now we are getting new feature requests into the rich text area project and getting things done there. So your experience will be better in JTaccuino. So the overall idea is a model of the Jupyter UI, you will see in a moment. And some other things already are, a model after the way Visual Studio Code is handling notebooks inside their UI. So there's some interesting additional ideas. So I started to look into those as well. Yeah, as a persistence format, JTaccuino is using IPYNB, so the interactive Python notebook format. The nice thing is if you save your work into this format and you upload it as part of your Git repository into GitHub, you get your notebook rendered by GitHub. So this is very nice. So yeah, rich text area. A small, I have to do this. It's an interesting thing. It's very small library, quite standalone, and it has a real nice, interesting implementation in how to decorate the decorations. So it helps me doing highlighting for syntax things or rendering of Markdown. So give it a try. I think the version number is, no, it's 1.2.1, but I'm using 1.2.2 snapshot because there are some new things in there. So the demo is using all the latest and greatest stuff. So yeah, shout out to the people from Gluon for this nice thing. All right, so without further ado, let's move over to the demo. So what you can see here, hopefully, and hopefully we can read it. If not, please give a shout out on the chat, so we can see if anything goes wrong. So you can see we have a okay, gone. Okay, so this is the standard UI. You got like a little bit of toolbar with a couple of buttons, like opening an empty notebook, loading a notebook, saving a notebook, executing a notebook, or resetting everything and executing a notebook again. You got a multi-notebook UI here, so like tabs with an empty screen here, and you got some menu items here showing you some interesting actions already available. And if you move your focus inside here, you see you get like a small toolbar here that allows switching between different types of cells. That is Markdown here, and Java, and like adding cells above or below, moving cells around and executing cells. So let me just load my agenda. So this is the agenda in Markdown, so that I don't forget anything to show you here. And as you already can see, we got this those different cells here. The first cell is Markdown, the second is Markdown as well. You can see this following the highlighting over there. And if you want to, we can just render it using the official way. So you press Shift-Enter, you get your Markdown rendered in line. So very nice. It renders lists and headings. It renders URLs. You can click on them. They're interactive. There are probably still a lot of other things that are not yet working very well inside the Markdown rendering, but this is no HTML thing. This is really native JavaFX as well. And yeah, so you see Markdown cells. We have this here. So let me show you what we can do else with Markdown. Let me open another notebook. So you see we got like from some of the notebook sites, from the Markdown sites with the examples, I got a lot of text here. trying to figure out what works or what does not work. Now we can just try to execute things. And while we're at it, you can see on the right hand, in the right-hand lower corner, you can see which cell you're working on. So if you're communicating with a colleague, you could just say, oh yeah, look at cell whatever, and give it the number, and you can identify without, it's the cell in which the code whatever is in there. And we got like rows and columns inside here. So if you move the cursor around, you see how the things change according to where the cursor is. So quite nice, simple things, but they make life easier. So let me execute this here. So you can see with the gray background, this is like the original code, and what you see below is like the rendering we got. So get different headings. So if we go here, you get, let me scroll for you. Let me scroll for you. So, okay, now it's working. So you see the emphasis things coming up. Now you can see we got italics and bold and strike through things. So yeah, a lot of different things already working. Okay, so this is Markdown. So let me see. Yeah, code completion. We can do code completion. Can do it here. So let me put a new cell below. So this is you can see there is a shortcuts there.
Hey Sven, sorry to interrupt. Is there any way you can make it a little bit bigger on
a little bit bigger?
Yeah.
Let me see. Probably. Is it still too small?
I can do this, which should help. Does that help at all? I don't know if that helps. I might help a little bit.
Let me see. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
So yeah, I moved this to the external display. So
okay, let's try that. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So now let's see if we can get the insert cell above or insert cell below, and you see there are the shortcut keys as well. So let's try to do it with shortcut. So if you're inserting a cell below, it takes the same type as the cell you were in. So it's still Markdown here, but we want to have Java code. So let's write some Java code. So, and you can see where first we need some imports. How about we get an array list? You can see it's complete just using tab. And now we've got it executed. Now, how about we build a new list? Okay, we build a new array list. And how about we just show the list? Oops. Okay, so it's an empty list. How about we add a string to it? So there you go. You can see that the results that would be hidden out are just displayed as outputs from the cells. So now maybe we want to have a look at our list. Oh, this is the list. So wouldn't it be nice if we could see the list as a real list, like a table or something similar? So maybe yes. How about we'll do it that way? There you go. And if we go back, we did, well, let's add an additional thing here. You can see I'm moving back and forth between the cells in no special order. So now we, let's put in another cell. So we can see that the list has changed. So you see both items in there now. So the list hasn't been updating live, but if we do this, you see both items there. So you can see how this works in the IDE. And the interesting thing is those things here are the live things put in here. So there's no wire protocol between your UI and the backend state, but everything is hooked up together. This is some magic working between JShell and the JTaccuino environment. And yeah, so you've seen we get a we have code completion. We can do this, just the simple things here. We have even already seen some of the magic we can invoke here. So what would be the next thing? Error markers. Okay, let's say load a broken notebook. So you typically see at the first we probably will get an error here. We execute the notebook. So let's see if this happens. Yes, we got an arithmetic exception by 0. And I says it cannot find a variable d. So even though we got an exception for this part of the code, we are still executing the next thing and getting the error here as well. So both statements are executed if you execute the cell. So the whole code block, as you see it, is broken down in snippets, and those snippets are passed around, and every snippet is evaluated. So it's like, you could say it's like a greedy evaluation. So we're working on having those error markers inside the editor. So there is already a prototype. So still has some glitches. Who's doing the squiggly lines thing as you would expect them to be from Word editors or from your IDE. All right. Next thing in the list. Let's see. Error markers. Marking outdated cells. Okay, yeah. So this was a thing that was coming up when I discussed with people at JCrete. And I was telling me you should know if things happen and they change what you have in an output. So let's see. This is just those J's are just here to make the cell higher so they can see this bar better. So now let me just execute it. It's not very interesting. So just assigning 16 here to the I, just giving it out so it can display it here. Just finding another variable and then assigning I to J, and then displaying J. So what would happen if I change I here? So if I put J like 10 here, I like 10 here, and then I execute the cell. Then the shell tells me in the backend tells me, oh, well, you might have to look at this code snippet because J is not, so this snippet may be outdated because the I has changed, but you didn't run the J for now. So and if I rerun this, you will see then, yeah, you get the 10 as well. So this is very nice, and this works all over the notebook. So everything that the shell is telling me, if I execute a snippet, the shell tells me, oh, there are a lot of snippets in there that might be influenced by the snippet you just changed, and you just get a nice marker there in a little highlight pink value. So I think this is very helpful to figure out if you're not running through things in a sequence, if you get things that might have been changed. All right. So marking of outdated cells. Oh yeah, interactive displays of data. So something we already looked at maybe. Okay, so let's run through this line by line. So we define a record. That's a very nice thing, very simple, nothing happens. Now let's define a new instance of this. Oh, okay, there it is. So thanks to records, very concise, very easy to do. Let's take another one. And now we do a list of both of those. And you see the list contains both those things. And if I now take display names, you can see it's even rendering the components of the record. So the Jtaquino engine discovers that it's a list that contains records of a type. It's doing the analysis of the type, figures out the components, and it's doing for each component of the record, it's doing a column, and it's just rendering your data. So no big deal to type, but very easy for you to use. And you can see you can even do it with arrays. It works for arrays the same way it works for a list. So there are probably a lot of things we can still improve, but this is really a nice example on how this works. And yeah, you can use this, and you can say, let's sort it. And if we improve on this widget here, you could even do like filtering or whatever. Yeah. So this is like the interactive thing for simple data structures. Get another demo for it. So yeah, just if you just want to figure out what your system properties of your shell are. Okay, so only those with Java, or if you just go for the complete set, you can see keys and values of all your system properties, and yeah, and you can sort them by name or by value. So very easy, and you can see it's very nice using this functional style and stream APIs to work with your data. Makes it a breeze to code such notebooks. Okay, let's get back to the demo. Things we still have. Okay, so let's get to the. I copied an example from the Eclipse collections kata. Thought it might be a nice idea. So all the examples we used up to now was just using plain Java, no dependencies. So now let's look at this kata. And the first thing that you probably recognize that's different, or let's say more than we had in the examples beforehand, is a dependency. And a dependency is doing a typically dependency magic. So you just have like the Maven coordinates put in there as a string, and it's using the Maven resolver in the backend to download the necessary binaries, and it's doing this on a transitive way. So typically, just adding the real things, the right things, should give you in the end a working thing. So we're doing this now with the test framework. So even this is really nice. So I'm just downloading the dependencies. Okay, we get the Eclipse collections things, maybe a bit outdated, but it was the time writing this thing. We're importing a couple of things. Then we'll see. So all the comments, I converted the comments into Markdown and the code sections. So then there was we'll define a record for OpenJDK, and there was a baseline for distributions, and then was, I think, one of the parts of the kata was to add a distribution and define a distribution, and then to look at how the records match. So and you can see, and now we got those assertions here. They're good. Now that we know it, now do the exercise in the end. And if you now just a go for executing this cell, you will see we got a lot of errors. And now if we let me see. So get the Azul Zulu version 11 distribution from our list and extract each field. So the question is, how do I find the list? Okay, so the Zulu version 11. So we could do look at the list. So how about we look at the list? I didn't do this before, so maybe it might be a nice thing to just so you can see. We could do it that way, or as we learned, we can just display it as a list. Very nice. So we see what we do. Okay. So how about we just cheat here, and we get the first, and then we need to. How about we execute this? Let's put in the null first, as the compiler might be not too happy. All right. So we still got 3 things that are not good. So how about so that is probably company. You can see how completion here helps us finding the build name and the version. And now if we execute the cell again, all the red is gone. So this could be a nice way to use Jtaquino as well. You just put in a notebook with like holes in the code, and once you figured out all the holes in the right way, all your notebook gets green in the end. So yes, green, but besides the green, I didn't mention we have those green check marks if the cell has been executed successfully, or as in case of the errors, we have like the small red bug. Okay, so those are probably all the basics. We could rearrange, so we could move the cell up, or we can move the cell down, so those things work as well. And yeah, so those are the basic editing functions in there. So let's go to some more interesting examples. So one example, especially from Jose, is trying to do some 3D graphics. So there's a nice library out there. It's called FXYZ3D. Okay, so what do we do? First, we need a dependency, so we use that dependency. Okay, so once we have this, doing a couple of imports, we need some camera, as in 3D, typically. Okay, then we define a spring. So this is a spring mesh, just some 3D primitive in the end. Then we'll build a subscene. Let's transform. And once we have this, we can display it. So you can see we have here some additional magic, but let's start with the subscene first. And as you can see the 3D graphics, and yay, we can even interact with that. And if you think this is not cool enough, how about we'll try this. So you can see the color animation, hopefully. And if you want to have another animation. My fault. And we just re-execute it. So you can see how the number of the section types change the look and feel of the. So you can see even the code interacts with what you see live. So very nice 3D stuff. So how about we look at some real world things? So as you know, I'm working for my day job. I'm working at Everspace. So I had to do some space stuff. So I did this a couple of years back already in other demos. So what we want to do is we want to plot orbits, objects in orbit around Earth. So first, what we do is we load the descriptions. So I downloaded them from a website called SpaceTrack, and they provide orbit information for lots of those objects. Probably not for all of them, for obvious reasons, but for very, very, very many of them. So I downloaded this file, and we just read them into the lines, and we could just for the fun of it. So I need to break the demo somehow. How about we'll try this? So you can see those 3 lines belong to one object. This is the identifier of the object, and this is just the description of the orbit in a special format called 2-line elements. So you can see all those are there. Okay, so now that we have those in a very simple list, we create a record so we can interact more easy with it. And yeah, thanks to Gathers, we can have a simple way with window fixed to iterate or stream over this in chunks of 3 lines, so we can put those things in there. So you see, I have some filters prepared. We can do those later on. So as you can see, this list has like a 27,000 objects in there. Okay, so now that we have this formatted a bit more nice, we again can do the same trick and show the record as a table. So you can see we got the object name, and we got the TLE1 and TLE2. So the 2 lines describing the orbit. So now we just need some orbit calculation thing. So we'll download ORCID, a quite famous library doing orbit propagation things. We have to initialize this, and this is probably something that will take the longest time in the demo. So let me see. So I'm downloading it live from the network. So you can see the network crawler gets it from here. So those are basic data for Earth orientation and Earth rotation and other things you need for calculation of those orbits. And now the system is initializing itself. This will take a second because it's now downloading things. Okay. So now we'll do a propagation of all those orbits to figure out where those objects are now. So you can see we're streaming in parallel over all those satellites. We're taking the orbit descriptions, building anew of the TLE objects from ORCID. And yeah, we're doing the propagation. And in the end, we'll figure out, we got a position for you. Okay, so we'll map this. Okay, so see, it's very fast. So now we need just to display it. So okay, same thing here. We need some background image. Probably you don't see it in the end, but no space rendering without blue model. And we take again fxyz 3D for helping us rendering stuff. And yeah, setting everything up. And then now, here we go. You got all the objects in space around Earth, all the publicly known objects. And now we can just turn this a bit so you can see the difference. So if you look from the top, or if you're looking from the equator, so on the outside you see the geostationary satellites, and this very dense sphere here are those satellites and objects that are in a low Earth orbit. And just to get an idea of the interactive thing, how about we apply some of those filters? So wouldn't it be nice to just see how many of those objects are part of the starting formation? So I'm just, with a very, very simple filter, I'm just selecting all those objects that have starting in there. So let me just re-render everything and wait for it. Recalculating things. There you go. So those small bits, dots, pieces are starting satellites. And you can see, if you're looking at the poles, there's like not so much there. So it's like a hole over the poles. What I found very interesting as well was to do this and to say, okay, how much debris is out there? So things you just do not use anymore. So let's do this again. And you can see how it easy is to just interactively just rerun things. And there you go. So those are things that I qualify as debris. So things probably not actively controlled anymore. Yes. Okay. So I think this is probably most of the new things I could show. See and look at my demo. So yeah, we did the post two break once. Let me see. Yeah, one other nice thing that I did. Probably I can do this. Okay, so okay, hopefully. So I put a notebook together that's doing it's interacting with LangChain4j and Olama. So let me see if this works.
Hey, Sven, I had a quick question there from Vincent. He says, is it for knowledge sharing or for complex equations or other scientific calculations? I think we've sort of covered some of that, but.
Yeah, so it's probably for all the purposes. So I think we'll start an aim low for trying things out using Java language features and stuff. Probably you can use it for teaching things, for doing demo things. So you don't need any IDE anymore. So you just can execute your things in a very, very, very tight way. And the next step is probably you can use it to build up algorithms for different purposes. The only thing is you have to figure out how to interact with your data. So if you've got big data living on a server very far from you, you need to have a good access model. But it's probably valid for all those notebook things as well, because typically your servers where you run your notebooks are typically not where your data lives. Only if you can control both of them, and then you can bring your data to your desktop as well. So starting to interact with smaller amounts of data, trying to build the algorithm, and then you just can take the algorithm from your notebook and put it into your real-world operational code. So I think the scale is from the very, very small. I think Kay did a talk about Java in the small. From those use cases up to whatever you can dream of.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah, and you can see the my local LLM model came back and told me, yeah, I'm a language model trained by OpenAI. So you can see you can even use the code to build like a minimal chat application. Yeah, another thing that we are looking at, or we are thinking of, is how to integrate it with a local AI model, local LM model, so it might help you build up your notebooks faster. But this is like a whole other story than probably for another talk. So another thing, I'm not sure if this still works, but I'm willing to give it a try. Interacting with a Graalvm and Python stuff. So let me see if it works. So yeah, okay, it works. This is a this error is a I was expecting that. So you can see we're just loading all those Python things using the dependency mechanism, and those are just a couple of lines of code, and for creating this Python context, and then I'm just really evaluating Python code. So you can see that the system knows about the methods on S. S is a what is S? S is just a string. So just trying and fooling around with the system, and it seems if you're looking if you're putting a record in, and it just the Python environment below just doesn't know about the type as well, so it couldn't call any methods on it. So, but in the end, even those things could be possible. So it was just just trying to figure out how far this this JShell and ClassPath thing we built below Jtaquino really goes. We have so talking about. I'm not sure how good this is still. So Milan Voss from the Java Champions, he's doing a lot of quantum computing things as well. So this example is from his domain. It's one of the very, very small things. I'm just trying to run this. Let me see. What happened? Okay, probably. Okay, so you can see the quantum computing circuit drawn there. So this is very, very easy, very, very simple, and a very small example. But another one that makes use of the capabilities to display JavaFX nodes. So you can see we built the board here. That's part of the code of the library. We just say display this board as an output for me. So lots of nice examples here so far. All right. Are there any further questions out there? Kito, anything on the chat?
So I've got a question, and then there is one in the chat as well. So the renderer class here, where is that from? Oh, I see. It's from StrangeFX. Okay, so it's part of the library that you imported.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you can just add style sheets to it. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this shouldn't be necessary, but it's a once you try to use those libraries, you figure out that sometimes they are not very well suited for being used in such notebook concise environments. I'll have an example to show this. How about we try to plot something? So typically, if you're looking at JavaFX code, doing plots is like hundreds of lines of code for setting everything up. So I just wrote some small wrappers around it. So now you just write something like this. You put like your function in the beginning, and you just tell them, okay, my X range is give me a step size, give me axis labels, and give me a plot label, and there you go.
That's really cool.
So this is typically what matplotlib in Python does, and what we all probably know from those environments. And you can see you can even build more complex functions here. So this just works. So I started working on a 3D prototype that's way harder, especially since I'm not typically a 3D guy, but those things work. Let me see. If I get some others. I've got a scatter plot even, I think. You see, same pattern. So and the magic is that there is a special construct in JTaccuino that allows for extensions to be registered, so that things are automatically added to the notebook environments.
Okay.
So like indistinguishable from magic, but everything you see is pure Java. So there's no meta language involved.
Right. Okay, cool. Vincent asks, is it a kind of modern applet?
No applet. No applet. Probably not. No. It feels like a lot of this applet magic, but no, it's just a rich client application with lots of engineering behind it. Yes.
Okay. I'll just ask a couple questions since I'm curious, and we don't have any more in the chat. So this project is fairly new, or how long has it been around?
So I started 2023 in like November, December. I started coding a bit, and then I had like a longer break, and then I did some more coding, and then I agreed on pushing a talk to Devox, and I had a long discussions with people in JCrete, and I did some demos there, and it's very helpful to be part of that big community. So if I get a JShell problem, I have my own personal contact point to the JShell team, and who's helping me and who's given me good ideas on what I can do. So one other upcoming thing is like that you get errors as you type. So
nice.
Not just waiting for the execution, but you can just during typing you could get an evaluation from the backend as well. I wouldn't have known this besides a guy telling me, you can do this, you should try it. Oh, and you can do this, you can try it. And then I tried it, and then it failed. And we looked into it and said, okay, so this should work. So we got a bug fix into the upcoming JDK version. So with the upcoming JDK version, we can get errors as we type.
Cool.
That's really nice. So yeah. So this is the development cycle, and yeah, and then I opted in for being here today, and then I started adding features to the UI so it's more complete. So yeah, and then getting requests from people starting to use it, like Kay Horstman, who would try to use it in some training demo, whatever thing, and he comes with this is not working. So could you have a look into it? And the transitive dependencies that doesn't fit in. And yeah, and one nice thing we built just like on the fly. I think we didn't notice because I didn't use it. Is this here? So we are injecting the current working directory. So that's like the location of the notebook. That's
that was one of the things I was wondering. Yeah, how does
you can just refer to things lying on disk.
Cool.
So that's very, very nice. So yeah, so a help is missing. The README is lacking. So probably things on my to-do list upcoming is getting all those information. The nice things behind the scenes that are already available to make them more visible.
So Vamshi N wants to know where they can get the software.
So yeah, so let me get my presentation back up. We just go for we did the demo. We saw, yes, markdown cells, code completion, syntax highlighting, error markers, outdated cells, display of data, and dependencies, features feature ideas for the future, you see this long list. One is marked as done, code editor for markdown cells. This was done. I think major thing would be passwords and token handling. So you can access online data storages where you need to pass your authentication. I think this is one of the major things. Presentation mode, so you can make fonts larger and smaller if you do presentations. That should be good. Yeah, errors as you type, we just talked about. Yeah, so different things that might be nice there. And if you want to get it, so there's the release 1.00 is still the version from last November, October, from our official first release from that we shipped during DevOps. But we are looking at doing a new release with all the nice additions that I have put in the near future. Yeah, and those are the URLs where you can get all the nice things. And yeah, let me know your issues, provide pull requests, and yeah, have fun.
That was really awesome, Sven. I have another question for you. So, have you looked at integrating with a language service or something to help with all the IDE sort of features?
No, not yet. So I think I was looking for having more syntax highlighting things and having a more better editor experience. But although the code is Java, the environment is quite difficult for analysis. So you could have probably more structural analysis, but you don't know a lot about the types because you don't know the environment.
Okay.
So everything I know is I ask JShell about the current state. So this is the snippet. Tell me something about it. You know about everything. Please give me the code completion.
Okay.
So this is like a back and forth. So JShell is like my language server.
Right. That's really cool.
And things that are not yet working, yeah, we need to figure out. Maybe we can improve on the JShell end. So I was asking why there are not so many different for syntax highlighting. I think they're just distinguishing 3 types, I think, of elements, and they probably can distinguish more. And like the unofficial answer was like, JShell is a command line tool. Did you ever try having like highlighting on the terminal cross-platform? Besides very simple things. So yeah, there was just no need for putting in more. So
that makes sense.
If we are coming along and saying, okay, this might be nice or this might be nice, could be helpful to elevate further the JShell tooling behind the scenes.
Right.
Although not so. In the beginning, JShell was just the only user of this backend API, and now we have like a JTaccuino, and I think it's how's it called, iJava and JJava. Those Python kernels. I think they both use JShell in the backend nowadays, or I think it's the new one. I think iJava was the old one, JJava I think it's the new one, and it's using a JShell on the backend as well, and it's doing similar tricks than we are doing here. But I think the major difference is that we can just interact with everything that's happening because we are just living in one VM. No wire protocol attached. So this is really cool.
Nice. Very cool. All right. Thank you, Simon. Anyone else have any questions?
So there are no further questions.
Looks like there's no further questions.
Okay, so yeah, I think people will figure out a way to reach me if they have. So just shoot. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thanks everybody for attending the J Champions Conf, and of course you can find all of these talks on YouTube. Just search for JChampionsConf. There's a whole channel. They're all there. That's how I'll be watching most of the talks myself. So thanks a lot for joining us, and I'm sure we'll do this again next year. And thank you so much, Sven.
Thanks for having me, and yeah, hope to see you around.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.